Hey y'all, glad to see y'all back for another Connect Foundation Java Jumpstart video. Today we are talking about if-else statements. Let's get started. So what is an if-else statement? It's basically a conditional where if something is true, you get a certain block of code to run, and if not, then you get a different block of code to run. So that would depend on whatever user input you get. What do you want to do based off of that input? So it's just a simple statement. If insert condition, then insert code. So there's three main things that you have to give the program in order for it to know what to do. One, you have to give it the conditional statement. If what, let's say, and this is the example I'll use later, if a number is greater than this, then do this. And that's where the second thing comes into play, what to do if the conditional statement returns true. And the third thing is what to do if the conditional statement returns false. So you cannot control the user input unless you are the user, of course. So you need to include what to do if it is false, because you don't know that it will always return true. So let's dive into an example of that right now. Let's say I want my program to print a certain sentence depending on what number it gets. So let's define an integer a, and we'll say if to start our statement, and inside the parentheses we're going to put the condition. So I want to say if a is greater than 5, then I'm going to open brackets, and this is where I'm going to write the code that runs while it's true. So let's say if a is greater than 5, I want it to print that's a big number. But again, a is not always going to be greater than 5, right? Because we, as programmers, do not know what the user is going to put in. So I need, again, that third statement that tells me what do I do if it's false. So I'm going to say else. So if a is anything that is not greater than 5, then it will print on it, because I like numbers that are greater than 5. So what this will do is it will first of all evaluate a is greater than 5. Is that true? If yes, it will say that's a big number. If this returns false, then it will say, oh man. But we only have two conditions here. A can either be greater than 5 or it cannot be. But what if I want a to do something separately if it is 5? So if it is 5, I don't want it to say, oh man, I want it to say something special. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a statement, else if, and here's another condition, else if a equals 5, then I want it to print 5 is a cool number. So now my code has three options. If a is greater than 5 returns true, it will print that's a big number. If it returns false, it will check, is a equal to 5? If that returns true, it will print out 5 is a cool number. And if not, if neither of these two statements return true, then anything else it will just print, oh man. So let's set a equal to 6 and see what that will say. So it prints that's a big number, because if we go down the code ourselves, 6 is in fact greater than 5. Now what if I make it 0? Well, we know if we go down the code, a greater than 5 will return false, a is equal to 5 will also return false, and it will just print else, because neither of these were true. So it should just print "aw man." And it does. Now let's see if our else if statement works. If we make it equal to 5, and that runs as well. So this is basically how you do basic if else statement, and later you guys will learn what else you can do as a conditional if you have a lot of conditions. Instead of making a bunch of lists of else ifs, what you can do instead in the next video. Hope to see you all there. Thank you guys for watching.